The novel coronavirus set in motion a global pandemic that the world is still attempting to understand, treat, and grapple with. The virus is a novel member of the coronavirus family of viruses, long associated with the common cold, SARS severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS Middle East respiratory syndrome. The virus is believed to have existed in animals before recently mutating and undergoing transmission to humans. Because it's a new virus, its behavior, its virulence, its means of spread, and other important features are only now under study. Infectious disease experts around the world are providing important information about the virus almost daily that can help curb its spread. The virus leads to an illness called coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. People with the disease typically have a fever, cough, trouble breathing, and exhaustion. Most people who get the disease recover on their own with no lasting consequences, according to the World Health Organization. But up to 20% of cases may need urgent medical attention. Those most at risk include elderly adults and people with underlying health conditions. Men appear to experience at least twice the risk of complications and death as women, and obesity as well as diabetes, heart disease, and immunologic conditions are reported risk factors for serious illness. Because the virus has a particular affinity for lung tissue, breathing can become compromised, and patients requiring hospital care often need the assistance of a mechanical ventilator, or respirator. Simple actions like washing your hands, not touching your face, and staying home when sick can help keep everyone safe. Social distancing and avoiding large gatherings are also key to curbing transmission. The novelty of the coronavirus threat, the uncertainty about its behavior, and the necessary adoption of restrictive measures to contain its spread, such as social isolation, have created unusual conditions giving rise to unprecedented levels of anxiety. Anxiety is an unpleasant sensation that normally serves as a stimulus to take appropriate action, but the very measures taken to curb the coronavirus require that people refrain from most forms of activity. As a result, the impact of anxiety is magnified and many people feel helpless. Social isolation is a severe psychological and physiological stressor, and the stress of isolation is likely to hit hardest those people who, for one reason or another, are already devoting significant energy and resources to adapt to everyday life. These include, but are not limited to, the socially anxious, the unemployed, those with pre-existing mental health problems, those at risk for domestic violence and child abuse, elderly people coping with hearing or eyesight problems, and those experiencing cognitive decline. Managing anxiety and fear as governments, corporations, and individuals work to contain the spread of the virus, it's natural to experience stress or fear related to your health, your family, your job, and the economy. Although no one knows exactly what the next weeks or months will hold, many strategies can successfully address the anxieties that emerge during this time. These include physical steps, such as prioritizing sleep and staying active, and emotional support such as challenging unhealthy thoughts and calling family and friends. How can I manage my anxiety during the coronavirus outbreak? As the pandemic continues to spread, anxiety does as well. Keeping calm is key to both mental health and immune function. Establishing a daily routine, checking the news during designated times, practicing meditation, and reaching out to loved ones are some of the tips that help keep anxiety in check. What are effective strategies to cope with stress? Recognize the symptoms of stress, such as difficulty concentrating, irritability or sadness, and sleep problems, to know when and how to respond. Control what you can, such as following federal guidelines, but then try to release the concerns that you cannot control. Additionally, limit news consumption and practice self-care. How do I cope with losing my job? It's common for a job loss to feed anxiety and depression due to financial stress and the sense of control that's stripped away. Allowing yourself to grieve the loss and discuss feelings of anxiety with a loved one or mental health professional early on is key to preventing more severe symptoms of depression from setting in. How do I navigate financial stress? Don't panic, but do be pragmatic. If you've been laid off or furloughed, file an unemployment claim with the Department of Labor. Cut all non-essential expenses, establish payment plans for debts, and network for new jobs while being open to any type of work. Parenting and family help. COVID-19 and the social distancing measures that followed have completely upended daily routines and family dynamics. Specific strategies can help you navigate the new normal, from soothing your children to keeping your pet safe. How can I help my child process the pandemic? Children may feel confused, angry, or restless during the outbreak. Here's how to navigate their feelings and yours when everyone is under one roof. Validate difficult feelings, process emotions through play, and embrace structure and routine. How do I homeschool my child? One strategy is to lean on your community. Assemble a group of parents who can each contribute one remote lesson, such as an English class or cooking demonstration. In addition to keeping kids engaged and social, this joint effort affords off-duty parents time to work, run errands, and keep up with household responsibilities. Will my pet contract COVID-19? There have been no reports of pets contracting COVID-19, but until more information is available, people with the illness should avoid close contact with their pets, such as cuddling or kissing them. People can also establish emergency plans regarding their pet's care, food, and medication in the event of hospitalization. How can I maintain a healthy relationship with my partner when we're both home all day? Social distancing has erased the typical relationship cycle of periods apart and periods together. Being in the same place may require you to take space by working in different parts of the home. Recognize that both people may not cope in the same way, and step away when you're upset, along with other measures. How can my partner and I improve our sex life? It's natural for your sex life to take a hit during the lockdown. The first step to rekindling romance is to find effective strategies to cope with stress. Then schedule a romantic date night at home, or try something new, such as a new position, playing with a sex toy, or sharing a fantasy. How do I deal with a new baby in isolation? Giving birth during the coronavirus crisis can be deeply upsetting for some, due to the separation from parents, friends, and support. As you navigate this time period, allow yourself to grieve the loss of normalcy. Work on accepting the current situation and finding meaning with your new family. Staying connected. Humans are innately social, and it's difficult to refrain from seeing family, friends, and the people we simply pass on the street every day. Many are calling for social distancing to be reframed as physical distancing, in order to emphasize the importance of staying connected during this time. How can I feel less lonely while social distancing? Video chatting with friends and family is key, and aim to schedule regular calls rather than single calls. Shift activities like book clubs and happy hours online. Immerse yourself in a fictional world, as characters can serve as social surrogates. Acts of kindness toward others can also alleviate loneliness by instilling a sense of connection and purpose. How do I maintain my relationships while self-quarantining? Humans have a pervasive, evolutionary drive to be with other people, which can make social distancing incredibly difficult. Maintain your relationships by calling and video chatting people you see regularly, and take advantage of the opportunity to deepen relationships with people who you aren't as close with yet. How can older adults feel less lonely during the pandemic? The elderly are especially vulnerable to the psychological and medical risks of social isolation. In addition to people reaching out to their own relatives, local governments play a critical role in providing food delivery, medication, and transportation to necessary appointments. Remote work. To maximize social distancing, more and more companies are asking employees to work from home. In many locations, it is now required by law that non-essential workers stay home, meaning that those who are able to work remotely must do so. Even in the best of times, transitioning to working from home can be a major adjustment. In the midst of a pandemic, added anxiety and novel distractions, such as children attending school from home, too, have made the shift more challenging than ever. Adopting strategies to minimize distractions, as well as accepting that perfect productivity may be out of reach during this stressful time, can help individuals adapt to their new work life. How do I learn to work virtually? Establish a clear structure to your workday and draw distinct boundaries between work and other areas of your life. This means setting up a dedicated workspace, if space allows, starting and stopping at set times, and getting ready each day, showering, getting dressed, and having breakfast before starting work. How can I improve my productivity during this time? Transitioning to remote work provides the opportunity to test out new work styles and strategies. Experiment with different time management and collaboration strategies, such as planning out a weekly schedule or setting up a daily check-in with coworkers, to identify ways to become more productive. Physical health. Following the guidelines put forth by the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is critical so that everyone stays safe. From hand washing and social distancing to boosting the immune system, individuals can take plenty of